Dear students, this is part 2 video of mechanical properties of solids. Okay, so in last class we studied about types of stress, types of strain, and also the statement of Hooke's law and the stress strain graph. Right? So in this class, let us discuss the types of elastic moduli. Okay. So depending upon types of stress applied and the resulting strain, there are three types of elastic moduli. Okay. As we know, the elastic modulus is ratio of stress to strain. Okay. The types are Young's modulus, shear modulus, and bulk modulus. Let us discuss one by one. First one is Young's modulus. It is ratio of longitudinal stress to longitudinal strain. Okay. Here longitudinal stress can be known as normal stress. Longitudinal stress is restoring force per unit area, that is F by A. Okay. And the longitudinal strain can be written as delta L by L. Okay. Where delta L is change in length of a body and L is the original length of the body. Okay. Here what happens when you consider a wire of length L and area of cross section A is suspended from the rigid support, then delta L be the small increase in length of the wire due to the applied force F. Okay. Then the longitudinal strain can be written as delta L by L. Okay. Here the Young's modulus is denoted by capital Y is equal to, so F by A by delta L by L. So final expression is FL by A into delta L. Okay. Here the SI unit of Young's modulus is Newton per meter square. Okay. Because here the longitudinal stress has unit Newton per meter square, but longitudinal strain has no units. Hence, the SI unit of Young's modulus is same as that of stress. Okay. Next, the second type of elastic modulus is shear modulus or modulus of rigidity. It is ratio of tangential stress to shearing strain. Okay. So we have tangential stress is equal to F by A. Again restoring force per unit area. Okay. The difference is normal stress means the force is applied perpendicular to the surface of the body. Tangential stress means force is applied along the surface of a body. Okay. And the shearing strain can be written as theta, as you know. We may write theta equal to delta L by L. Okay. Hence the shear modulus is denoted by eta. Okay. Here the pronunciation is eta. Eta equal to tangential stress by shearing strain equal to F by A by theta, or it is F by A theta, or the final expression is as follows. Okay. Right. So here also the SI unit of shear modulus is also Newton per meter square. Okay, right. Now consider the third one, bulk modulus. Okay, right. It is a ratio of hydraulic stress to volume strain. Consider a spherical body of volume V and surface area A. Let it be compressed by applying the force from all sides normal to the surface. Okay, then volume decreases, then the delta V is change in volume. Okay, change in volume. So here the bulk modulus is denoted as capital B is equal to F by A divided by delta V by V. Okay, on simplification we will get this expression, right? So remember this. So here the SI units of Young's modulus, shearing modulus and bulk modulus are same, that is Newton per meter square. Okay. Next, if the spherical body is compressed due to hydrostatic pressure P inside a liquid, okay, then this bulk modulus can be written as, we know pressure is written as force per unit area. Okay, pressure is written as force per unit area. Okay, so in Kannada the pressure is ಒತ್ತಡ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ ಹೌದಾ ರೈಟ್. ಹೀಗಾಗಿ ಹಿಯರ್ ದ bulk modulus can be written as minus P by delta V by V. Means here the F by A is replaced by minus P. Okay, the negative sign indicates that when pressure P increases, volume decreases. Okay, say for example, when the spherical body is compressed by a force from all sides, then what happens? The volume of the spherical body decreases. Means volume decreased, pressure is increased. Okay, right. That is, if P is positive, delta V is negative. Means as pressure increases, volume decreases. Okay, hence P is positive, then delta V is negative. The SI unit of bulk modulus is same as that of Young's modulus. Okay, here the reciprocal of bulk modulus is called compressibility. Okay, it is denoted by capital K. Remember, modulus of elasticity is denoted by small k. Okay, and the compressibility is denoted by capital K. Capital K is here the reciprocal of bulk modulus 1 by D. So substitute the expression here. Okay, and also this compressibility is defined as fractional change in volume per unit increase in pressure. Okay, it is fractional change in volume per unit increase in pressure. So remember this definition. Okay, next, Poisson's ratio. Within elastic limit, the ratio of lateral strain to longitudinal strain is called Poisson's ratio. Is called Poisson's ratio. Okay, right. Let L be the length and D be the diameter of a wire. When length increases by delta L, the diameter decreases by delta D. Okay. Then the longitudinal strain can be written as delta L by L, and lateral strain is, it is change in diameter to original diameter, delta D by D. Okay. Hence Poisson's ratio is equal to lateral strain by longitudinal strain. On substituting, we will get delta D by D into L by delta L. Okay. Here the Poisson's ratio is denoted by sigma. Okay. In actual practice, the value of sigma lies between 0.2 to 0.4. Okay. Next, elastic energy. When a wire is stretched, some work is done against the internal restoring force. Okay, right? So this work done is appears as elastic potential energy in the wire. So it can be shown that the elastic potential energy stored in a stretched wire is here the potential energy or elastic potential energy is denoted by capital U, okay, equal to 1 by 2 stress into strain into volume of the wire. Okay, 1 by 2 into stress into strain into volume of the wire. Right. So now here the substitute the value of stress, strain and volume of the wire. As you know, stress is equal to force by area, right? Strain equal to, here we consider a wire. In wire, the produced strain is generally longitudinal strain. Hence, here strain is written as delta L by L. Okay, and the volume of the wire, volume equal to area into length. Okay, hence here volume is written as area into length of the wire. On simplifying, we will get 1 by 2 into F into delta L. Okay, the potential energy per unit volume of the wire. Okay, potential energy per unit volume of the wire is written as, so this whole term is divided by volume V. Okay, so this term is divided by volume V. So as you know, volume V equal to A into L. So this volume and this volume getting cancelled, we left with 1 by 2 stress into strain. 1 by 2 stress into strain. It may be written as 1 by 2 Young's modulus into strain square. Okay, because Young's modulus equal to stress by strain. Multiply and divide by strain term here. So we will get the expression as this. Or you may remember this expression also. Potential energy per unit volume of the wire is equal to 1 by 2 stress into strain. Okay. Next, the last concept is the application of elastic material. The first one is thick metallic ropes used in cranes to lift and move heavy objects. Okay, so here the thickness of the metallic ropes is decided on the basis of the elastic limit of material. Okay, elastic limit of material. Next, second one, the hollow shaft is stronger than solid shaft made by same material. Okay, here the torque is required to twist a hollow cylinder is greater than to twist a solid cylinder. Okay, so in such cases the shaft is used. Third one, in construction of roofs and bridges, the cross-sectional shape of eye is used. Okay, here the beam is in the shape of the alphabetic letter I. Okay, because the I shape of beam provides large a load bearing surface and also enough depth to prevent bending. Okay. Next, fourth one, crane ropes are made by number of thin wires woven together. Okay. So this gives the safety to the ropes. Okay, again it is based on the property of elasticity. So these are certain applications of elastic material. Okay, right. So this completes the chapter mechanical properties of solids. Okay, thank you.